Muslims with harsh views. This is what I will call them. Muslims with harsh views. So what happens is somebody was seeking and they found online somebody who's teaching Islam and they started, hey, this makes sense. And they started listening to them and listening to them and listening to them. And when they listened to them, they said, this is the right Islam. This person has the right aqidah. This person has the right understanding of Sharia. They have the right understanding of Sunnah. So they give their complete trust to this the person they're following, this influencer online, the sheikh online, whoever, or a group. And then they developed a view that this is the right way and everybody else is wrong. Everybody else is going to Jahannam. These are the only people that are saved. And it's on every issue. It's not even like overall, on every single issue. So it could be like, for example, they develop an idea about how long the beard should be. Tulul lihya, for example, right? Now, if somebody doesn't fit their definition of the length of the beard, they are hatab Jahannam. They are made for, this is a inkaru sunnah, this is tariqus sunnah, this is, and it maybe even, wajibul darb, something. Like, they're going to develop those harsh views. Their views could be about the rights of the wife. There could be about the beard. It could be about clothing. It could be about the definition of halal and haram. It could be anything, but they start developing very, very harsh views. And because they develop harsh views, these people are not fun to live with. So they develop a lot of problems in their family and among their friends. They become more and more isolated. Muslims with harsh views believe they understand the Sunnah. They believe that hadith says this is what it means. And they don't have a lot of deep knowledge, because you can only have harsh views when you don't have deep knowledge. And they believe that anybody who disagrees with them doesn't have real knowledge. What needs to happen with those kinds of groups is, instead of targeting the group, you have to target the issue. If it's lihya, if it's isbal, if it's musiqa, whatever issue it is, whatever the issue is, you have to, as scholars in the country, they have to get together and look at all the different views on it and get even, representatives of the different views and have a discussion about the evidences and present the solution to the ideas and say, this is what the scholars have said. This is our attitude towards each other. These are the differences that have existed for this long. The people who hold this view are this. The people who hold this view are this. And we respect all of them. If something is based on ijma', it's ijma'. We can't change that. But if there's an issue that's mukhtalaf fihi, then we should not pretend that there's ijma' when it's mukhtalaf fihi. It's mukhtalaf fihi. And if we can create those kinds of discussions and then target especially the harsh audience and say, by the way, this thing that you think is daleel is not daleel. Or you're saying this is absolutely sahih, actually it's not. It's da'if. Like, for example, a narration example of this is because marriage and divorce are sensitive topics, right? A lot of times people develop very strong views about it without looking at the situation. Sometimes divorce is, because there are muftis sitting here, you guys know, sometimes divorce is the best solution. It's a rahmah from Allah. Other times, you're rushing to judgment. But if you just start with inna abghad al-halali inda Allah talaq, if you start with that, first of all, the narration is not that strong. And the Quran is saying, وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَا يُغْنِ اللَّهُ كُلَّ مِنْ سَعَتِهِ. Yeah? So what are we doing? We take this narration, which is not even sahih, it's actually a lot of kalam on this hadith, and we put it above even the ayat of the Quran. And then somebody who's coming with a real problem in their marriage, we're saying to them, إِنَّ أَبْغَضَ الْحَلَالِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ طَلَاقٌ. Now this is a lack of hikmah. And this is where ulama have a big role to play, a huge role to play, because a lot of times these narrations are being misused to create more and more and more harsh views. And that is a misrepresentation of Sharia, it's a misrepresentation of the Sunnah, and the only people who can defend against that are the scholars of the Sharia and the scholars of the Sunnah. And that's where even people like myself are not even qualified. We're not even at that level. But the muftis and the fuqaha, they have to now expose these conversations. Sometimes, I'll be frank with you, sometimes I get a chance to have dinner with a mufti or a group of muftis. and we have just sitting chatting on the dinner table, and we have the most amazing conversation, right, on some issue. And I say, man, the public doesn't know. You guys are so cool. Because when you come in front of the camera, you're just, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, and you're very formal, and nobody knows that you actually have some really incredible insights and discussions and debate. Those dinner conversations that you have with each other on issues, they need to be filmed. I'm telling you. When that stuff gets filmed and that stuff gets out, the public changes. Then harshness starts extremism starts going down.